Hello, I'm Sudarshana Starshine Star. Thank you for being here with me. It's a beautiful Monday evening. It is still March 31st, 2025, and I love to start all of my clips with the three opening prayers that are in Sanskrit and Telugu. They're short, um, and it's the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. Om, Om, Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum Sishivarnam Chatobhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopushante Om Bhurбhuva Suvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhago Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. Wonderful. I do those prayers to bless, protect, uplift, and inspire you, me, and this clip. I have a lot of news to give. This is why I'm coming on and recording this in the later part of the evening, which is unusual for me on this wonderful Monday. How about that new moon and partial solar eclipse? Woohoo! I don't know where all of you are in the world that are listening to this, but I bet you felt that one. That was what I call a real doozy, and it's still ongoing. Incredible opportunity for a lot of shift and change. Amazing. So I have a YouTube channel. If you're not listening to this audio on my channel, it's The Dazzling of the Light, or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star to access my well over 100 clips there. I think it's so fun. There's a lot of variety, and why not go over there? If you're not on there, check it out, join. I have a backup YouTube channel, which is also called It's the Dazzling of the Light, but you have to type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star 99 to access it. And I asked, why not join both of them? Wonderful, because I've been terribly shadow banned across all my socials for so many years, and I just keep having to sometimes I don't rebuild accounts right away, but they get zeroed out. They get banned. I get locked out of them. I do have some accounts kind of strewn all over the interwebs, as it were, and people wonder why I don't post on them anymore. Well, I'm locked out of them, so I can't. But hopefully y'all can still enjoy them. But this is I still have a YouTube channel and a backup YouTube channel, and I really appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That's wonderful. Thank you so much in advance for doing that. So let's get down to it. First of all, I like this quote, which says, in referring to the leftists that we see sweating bullets right now, not only in my country, America, but across the world, as the fall of the cabal is really in flow here. But in terms of the leftists, the quote referring to them is, never seen a party work so hard to remove a president, but not the drug dealers, child sex traffickers, or illegal immigrants. And I concur with that. It's pretty amazing, all the effort they do, but it's not proportional, and it's just a bunch of criminals who are very afraid that all of their supply, all of their finances are getting dried up, all their connects are getting broken, and nothing can stop what is coming. On X, Jim Ferguson, about 3 days ago, posted this: breaking. Trump strikes back. ends billions in taxpayer cash to Bill Gates, VACCINE empire. And by the way, I'm going to interrupt here, but Bill Gates is not around. And I've spoken about that a lot. You can go check out my YouTube series called The Real Real. Definitely Bill Gates was unalived quite a while back, and that's a story in itself. But like the cabal does, or whether you can call them the Khazaria Mafia, I call them the evils, or, you know, the Canaanites, the seed of Cain, the seed of the serpent, the Jesuits, the 13 papal satanic bloodline families, the Freemasons, the Illuminati. It's just a dark, like a dark Sith force that has a lot of branches. And they do fight and struggle for power between themselves, because that's what the deluded upside down darkness does. It's never satisfied. It always wants more. And betrayal is the name of the game, so there's always infighting. Let me get back to this Jim Ferguson post. So breaking, Trump strikes back. I already told you. Ends billions to taxpayer cash to Bill Gates. Like I said, empire. President Trump has officially cut off U.S. funding to Gavi, and that's GAVI. And that is the VACCINE organization founded and funded by Bill Gates. But believe me, he wasn't the boss of it. He was a minion, although a high-placed minion. He wasn't the boss of any of that. He did what he was told to do. He wasn't the instigator. For years, billions in American taxpayer dollars have flowed into this globalist-controlled MEDICAL regime. Now the tap has been shut off. This isn't just policy. This is war on the globalist agenda. What this means: no more blank checks to Gates or whomever's standing in wearing a face mask to be Gates, as I'm adding that in there. Jim Ferguson didn't say that. No more blank checks to Gates. No more funding secretive partnerships with big PHARMA and unelected elites. And elites, put that in quotation marks. They call themselves elites. They live like that, like the ruling class, but they are the opposite. They are pretty scummy. Trump is dismantling the global HEALTH control grid piece by piece. This is a direct blow to the WEF network, the WHO power structure. And if you didn't know, I'm not going to assume that you know, but WEF means World Economic Forum. WHO means World HEALTH organization. And you can tell what I really am unable to speak about freely by my spelling. And that should clue you into a lot more. That should make you underscore and put question marks by that, because obviously some things I'm spelling, you're saying, well, why is she spelling that word? Well, that's why. So this is a direct blow to the WEF network, the WHO power structure, and every unelected technocrat who thought they had a permanent grip on humanity. The globalists aren't untouchable. Trump just proved it. The tide is turning, and they know it. Thank you, Jim Ferguson. That was a great post. Now, here is something, it has nothing ostensibly linking to what I just said, but it's just a little side note, and I just want to interject it in here. Even though, once again, on my many clips on my YouTube and my other socials, I've gone into what BLM really is. And I think by now, so many years later, we're in 2025, most people, even if they don't want to admit it, when they see how all the founders just bought many mansions for themselves and paid for a lot of luxury trips and did everything and funded a lot of, as was listed, as I spoke about on Act Blue, on the June 2020 FEC regulated disclosure for their top 10 recipients of money donated to BLM through Act Blue on their official site. They were all Caucasians, and they were all Democrats with the exception of Bernie Sanders, and they were all running for president. And there weren't any black people or people of color, or anything on that. So it's just one big scam. But here's a little side note. Charles Wade, BLM co-founder, was arrested in 2016 for child sex trafficking. In other words, he was arrested for modern day SLAVE trading. I hope the irony is not lost on you. Yeah, that is pretty ironic, isn't it? Okay. Another note. Let's see. Here's another note. One of Elon Musk's Doge geniuses just revealed massive fraud at Social Security. He says 40% of the phone calls they got are from fraudsters. That's why they're so focused on the telephone services. At Social Security, one of the first things we've learned is that they get phone calls every day of people trying to change direct deposit information. So when you want to change your bank account, you can call Social Security. We learned 40% of the phone calls that they get are from fraudsters. That's right, almost half. So that's huge, and I don't need to. It's all over the place. I'm pretty sure that you've heard of the super long lists of all the corruption that's being exposed, especially with Social Security, beings that are listed even at 300 something years old, much older than my country, America, and they're receiving Social Security checks. So it's a big nightmarish, mess of criminal activity that's been uncovered. But now to discover like 40% of the phone calls are criminals are trying to get direct deposit information flipped so they can steal more. Wow. So Jim Ferguson, again on X, just posted today this excellent post. Canadian banks busted, tied to fentanyl cartels, money laundering, and Chinese triads. TD Bank, one of Canada's largest financial institutions, has been caught red-handed laundering over 670 million for Chinese triads and Mexican drug cartels. The same cartels flooding America with deadly fentanyl, now officially labeled TERRORIST organizations by the U.S. And what does this mean? Potential U.S. sanctions, a $3 billion penalty already handed down, a system rotted from the inside. According to investigators, of course, they're in bed. They're not just enabling crime. They're fueling a chemical war on the West and getting rich doing it. This is treason, Jim writes, and I concur. Now, Doge for the win confirmed and said that Doge says that USAID gave Chelsea Clinton $84 million, which was supposed to go for relief in Haiti. Line items show $3 million of the $84 million was spent on Chelsea Clinton's wedding, and wait for it, $10 million to purchase a luxury mansion, all on our dime. Yeah. And switching to more about the ILLEGAL aliens. They just last year they sent $56 billion in cash to their home countries. That's after their kids enjoyed free education, free lunches, free medical care paid for by you, the American taxpayer. And I have to say, not to mention also the no and very special low interest rate home loans that they received with no credit history, no social security number, no collateral, is very crazy. They've never paid into the system. They just arrive into our country. And because the criminal Dems want to have them VOTE their way in order to sway the country to their crazy upside down leftist satanic policies, they've arranged all this. So Americans don't get this. I don't know if you haven't been to America or you don't understand the huge problem we have with our veterans and huge homeless problem, laying in the street, having no food, no medical, no house, no nothing. But people that have never are not a part of this country, and they just come in and they get everything, like proper housing. On top of, they were all getting $5,000 in cash and paid up every month, and paid up Visa cards or more, staying for a couple of years now in 5-star hotels, not staying in like a budget inn or something, or like a low quality, but the 5-star luxury hotels in some of the big cities across America for now a couple of years. And right when they came in, they got their free cell phone pays, all paid up every month. It's all paid up for them and for their families. It's all very crazy, and the taxpayer was paying for all of that. Now switching to France, this just came from today, live watch on Marine Le Pen conviction. And this is really a spotlight on the cabal, on really showcasing and underlining the corruption in French government. From TheGuardian.com, Europe Live with Yacoub Krupa. He wrote, Marine Le Pen to appeal against conviction for embezzlement. That means she cannot run for French presidency in 2027. And then if you go to theguardian.com, you can see what Mr. Krupa was talking about that. But that she can't run for office for 5 years after the court finds her guilty of embezzlement of European Parliament funds. So it's just set up. We experience that here in America with President Trump. And I'm going to talk more about that. But France is a republic. It hasn't been operating as a republic, but it will rise. It will. I don't know the timing on it, but I do know that this is just showcasing to the whole world, all the rotten corruption that this earth realm has been steeped in by all these crazy pedophilic, satanic, criminal, quote, like I said, elites running the government and having their boots on the back of the necks of all of we the people. It all has to come out because people haven't believed it. They just say, no, this is normal. This is how life is. No, it isn't normal. And it needs to be known. It needs to be understood. It needs to be learned. It needs to, justice has to come in. So we the people at Dr. Deezzz, DEEZZZ007 on Truth Social, he wrote about this more liberal lawfare being waged against the right because the demon rats across the world have lost their integrity. They are clawing at the little bit of power they have left by framing people for bogus crimes. And Robinson Wills, 406 on Truth Social, wrote, in Brazil, they banned the main opposition from running for president. In Romania, they banned the main opposition for running for president. In France, they banned the main opposition for running for president. I wonder if there's a pattern here. And one of the great fun posters, who calls himself Cat Turd, CATTURD, at CatTurd2 on X, wrote, over the past few years, the USA, the left, arrested their political opponent. France, the left, arrested their political opponent. Romania, the left, canceled the election because they were going to lose to the right. Canada, the left installed a new leader with no election. The UK, the left arrests citizens for free speech. Ukraine, the left in Congress waves Ukraine flags to a dictator who refuses to have elections because he'll lose. Dear leftists, if you want to see real NAZIS and FASCISTS, then look in the mirror. And I say 1,000% exclamation points after that. That's so true. Conservative Brief on Truth Social gave this today, bombshell. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has cut off all funding for the Sinaloa Cartel, a massive criminal organization responsible for human and drug trafficking into the U.S. The Sinaloa Cartel has invaded our southern border. They have tortured and unalived countless of our citizens, dedicated law enforcement agents like Kiki Camarena, and veterans like Nicholas Quetz, who was only 31 years old when he was ruthlessly taken from U.S. I'm proud to announce that we've taken decisive action against the Sinaloa Cartel, one of the most notoriously violent criminal and drug trafficking organizations in the world. Our administration is committed to cutting off their funding and neutralizing the threat through all available tools. We leveled sanctions against 6 individuals and 7 entities involved in a money laundering operation, cutting off financing for these evil people. Today, the Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network also issued an alert to help financial institutions detect and deter bulk cash smuggling by transactional criminal organizations in Mexico. The group is responsible for a significant amount of the fentanyl and illicit drugs brought into the United States, drugs that continue to innocent Americans and destroy families every single day. We have a steady drumbeat of regulatory and sanction actions as well as national security actions, sending a clear message that American strength is back. Hallelujah. God bless the Republic. And here's some excellent news. Starting right now, which would mean starting tomorrow, Jess Mason at Reuters, Zeke J. Miller at Associated Press, Caitlin Collins at CNN, Peter Alexander at NBC, Wijia at CBS, Justin Sink at Bloomberg, Tamara Keith at NPR, and Peter Baker at the New York Times have all been taken out of their prized front seat and special seats in the Washington, D.C. press release room, and they now all have the very back row. The very, very back row. They've been delegated to go in the very, very back row, and that is appropriate because they are just truly, truly upside down beings that have really hurt the American people with their lies. And I like this quote that Emerald Robinson on X said about this. She said, she's quoting, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you travel across sea and land to make a single proselyte. And when he becomes a proselyte, you make him twice as much a child of hell as yourselves." And that is so appropriate for the mainstream media. Yep. Incredibly appropriate. So I'm going to end this with a beautiful armor of God from Ephesians 6:10-13 from it's the King James Version. "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand." I like to end all of my clips with the closing prayer that's in Sanskrit and Telugu. And what I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds, because I do pray sincerely for all souls in all creations, no matter what they are. I want the redemption of all souls, because everything has been created by Mother, Father, God. And at one point in that which we call time will return to Mother, Father, God. And some, it may take millions and millions of years. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. But I'm praying for all the redemption of all the souls. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes, peace, peace, peace. God bless you and yours. I'm sending big love and hugs to you and yours. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're watching this on my YouTube channel or on my other socials to like it or heart it. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you, and bye-bye for now.